YouTubers, welcome back to AZ2 Ozarks. This video is a little bit sad for us. So earlier today I was in the kitchen washing dishes and I could hear this strange rumbling noise outside, and it almost sounded like one of the plastic trash cans rolling across the yard. And so I looked out the window to see what was going on, and the tree leaves were all shaking really intensely, and I'm thinking it's like a windstorm blowing through. It was kind of weird because it's a clear sunny day and there's nothing really going on. But as I watched it, it happened in like super slow motion. This big tree branch came down and went crashing down. Both of our dogs were out there, and I could see one of them. I couldn't see the other. I was really worried about this guy over here, Murphy, because he is tethered on the other side of the tree. So I grabbed my daughter and we went outside to see what was going on, and I'll show you what happened. So we came out here to our giant tulip poplar tree to find this branch had come crashing down. Now I'll show you where it came from up here, and you can see what a long break that is. It really split. So that's probably why it happened so slowly. But thankfully, Murphy was okay. He was not squished. He was hiding in the doghouse, so that's good. Sasha was out here casually chewing on a bone, like it was no care in the world. Now this big old branch, you can see it's leaning on another branch here. It hasn't completely fallen, and we were surprised. This is the branch we have actually expected to fall first because it has had mushrooms growing out of this area there. And you can see the stress, like ripples. It's probably hard to see on film. Let me see if I can get a different angle, but this is actually like a stress ripple here of where weight is pressing from this branch coming down here. So we expected that branch to be the first one to fall, but it was not. This one is here. The guys are putting jacks here under it. And you can see that it landed on our trailer, which is a little welding trailer. It looks like that axle's bent. You can see the tire kind of sticking out there. It doesn't look like the tire's flat, but this is the trailer our welder is on, and it looks like it might not be damaged. It's leaning right against it over there. The top doesn't look damaged. There's something over here, another branch, leaning on it, but hopefully it's okay. So you can see that it hit another branch right there and caused that one to fall, and another one even up there. So it looks like that's one of them. It's standing straight up and it's still like pinched up there. Now another thing, our power pole is right there. And fortunately enough, it looks like one little tiny tuft of the leaves got into the power pole lines, and that was it. And we didn't lose power, and fortunately nothing looks damaged there. So really, as far as this went, it turned out pretty darn well. The barn's over here, and it didn't hit the barn. And of course the house is on that side. Now we're concerned, well, we have been for a while, about parts of this tree falling and potentially falling on the house or something like that. So it probably is going to be time to start taking this tree down, which is really a shame. I will link up to a previous video where we talked about this tree. It actually is 23.5 feet around. And in Missouri, they do state champion trees, and the Missouri Department of Conservation had come out and evaluated this tree, and the guys who came out declared it the actual grand champion of Missouri as the state's biggest tree based on 3 metrics. One was the around was 23.5 feet. The second metric was that it was 90 feet high, and it also had a 90-foot spread for its branches. So this is a big, big tree. It's definitely a shame to see it go. at it lifting the tractor off the ground and flattening the front tires. That is a heavy branch. Rick is trying to release the tension so that they can start cutting it, but we don't want it to fall when they start cutting it, and we don't want anything to fall further on that trailer and the welder. So he's trying to lift it and pull it back away from there a little bit. How's the welder look?
I'm going to separate it, not the bent. Just shove the whole thing over. Not normally a gaffer. Only bent the dipstick. Didn't break it. Just bent it a little bit, should be alright. For sure the axle's bent. See where it ripped the fender down right here.
Oh yeah. And it looks like it's still leaning on it.
Oh yeah. Right there, it splits. The tree splits down there, and they're both about 2 foot diameter after it splits. It's probably about 3 foot in diameter right there. It's pretty heavy.
So what's the plan of attack?
Well, if we go around that side, you can see we're going to try and cut the branches and move it so we can get.
Look at where it's at in relation to the power pole. Just that one little tuft got stuck up there. So fortunate it didn't take this out. Some branches broke off and shattered. Just one branch of this giant tree is so huge. So Rick removed the weight off of the main branch, and all of a sudden the tractor started rolling backwards. So Keegan jumped in and pushed the brakes real quick, because without the weight, it was trying to pivot. So Rick is instructing Keegan what to do with this big thing, kind of swing it out away. The jacks are falling over. He wanted to get it off of the... Oh, it's like rolling. Rick's telling him to back up and go down. So when it gets stabilized, we'll come over here and look at the trailer. Looks like he can put it all the way on the ground. Wow, this is a big log. I'm not sure if you can get an idea of that in the video. You can see how big that is. It's got some cute little moss on it. This is an old tree, so I didn't say that earlier in the video. The Department of Conservation guys who came out, they gave us their best estimate. So tulip poplar don't usually get this big, and they don't usually get this old. Their best estimate was this tree is about 130 years old. So it is a big one. It's been here a long time. And one big branch is now let go. So let's look at the poor trailer over here. Whew, I gotta climb over this big old thing. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the little fender well is definitely bent. The axle, you can see it's kind of towed out now. Yeah, too bad for the trailer, but we're hoping that the welder at least is okay. So the guys had only recently gotten this welder up and running and tuned up and fixed because they had bought it and it was in a bit of disrepair. So hopefully the welder is okay. But now the tree is off and stabilized. It's on the ground on its own. And the real fun can begin.
Yeah.
That's a big one to cut. Let's come take a look at this wood in the
Pink in it.
split. Yeah, that's really pretty. So already a local friend who does a lot of interesting woodworking. He makes cutting boards, but all kinds of different crafts and things with wood. He's come by and he's adored this tree when he's been here previously, but he offered to make us some keepsakes out of some chunks of this wood, maybe some bowls or other type of things that we can remember it from. So that was pretty cool. My oldest son was just pointing out that this black here, rather than being rot, it is probably a result of lightning strike. He said it is indicated by shake and where the wood delaminates. So that's not all apparent to me, but he sounds like he knows what he's talking about. With all that weight on the trailer, it really pushed the foot into the ground. So it had a flat metal plate at the base there, and it's all the way down into the ground. So we're gonna hook it up to the old Toyota and see if we can lift it up and get it out of there.
Back forward to here.
There's the foot. That was a lot of weight for a little trailer.
Yeah.
Come on, Sash. Come on. Come on, Sashi.
All right.
Woo.
Don't start turning yet.
Oh.
Folded up the leaf spring and everything.
Darn it. The center of this wood sure is pretty. So they've got it cut up pretty well here. Smaller chunks. That one is pretty ant damaged in the center, but not that one. So some of these might be something that we can mill and use, but a lot of it will probably just be firewood. So yeah, not real straight or great quality, but it is pretty. And the tree was certainly pretty. Let's go look at the one they already put by the mill. So here is kind of the really small branches and the leaves putting into a pile for burn. It'll take a while to dry out a bit. Over here is the lumber mill, but look at that day. Isn't that beautiful? It is a beautiful, beautiful Missouri evening. Just starting to turn to fall. It's still pretty warm today, but I think next week we're gonna have our cool weather. So here is the one that they brought over to the mill already. And this is what they told me are the shakes that indicate the lightning strike. So you can see these different striations, I guess. But it's pretty cool. That's a good size log that they'll use on the mill. Maybe we can make something cool out of it. Well, I think that is where I will end this video. We will probably have to start looking into a service to take down all of this tree at some point so it doesn't fall on the house or the barn. But it sure is beautiful and glorious, even though it has lost a branch. And we have really enjoyed having this tree as part of our home. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to keep following our adventure.